And welcome back to Family Time on Love 101. We're into our final segment, and we still have our guest Sonia Winter, clinical psychologist and founder of the Tea House Therapy. Sonia, nothing, Sonia, just yet. Just to remind those who are watching or listening, you can send your voice notes and texts to 876-997-3125. Of course, we want to remind you of a few details re Family Life Ministries. So you can friend us on Facebook, and the Facebook handle is FLM Family Life Ministries. YouTube channel is Family Life Ministries FLMJA, and on Instagram you can follow us at FLMJA. I gave you the numbers before, but I'll see if I give you them at the end of the show. So Sonia, we were looking at the different scenarios, and I have one last one. Hopefully we can get through it, and perhaps a few tips, but since you've given us some tips, it wouldn't be that bad. So our scenario, here we go. This one from Helene. My mom has been experiencing some early signs of dementia. She's in her mid 80s. These days, we've noted that she seems more somber and depressed after watching the news in the evenings. She's always been a news hound, and it never seemed to affect her before. Could the dementia have anything to do with her processing of the news now? If so, how do I stop or at least limit the amount of news she watches? If there's another reason, you can help me to figure that one out as well. So, can depression speed up her dementia?
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So, yes to the first question. Dementia can affect how you process things, right? How you put things in context. So, where she might have enjoyed the news before, now it might be hard for her to watch it and put it behind her. She can be she might be more absorbed with it, almost as if it's happening to her in a way, or to somebody she loves. And that can make her feel depressed afterwards. If you're noticing also changes of moods in the evenings and so on, yes, that happens to people with dementia, where there's a pattern that you notice where in the evenings there's increased confusion, irritability, low mood, generally later in the day. Um, Tiredness, changes in light, and brain chemistry all play a role in why that happens in the evening. So and that's called sundowning. So both of those things could be taking place. Does dementia cause depression? It doesn't, or depression cause dementia,
Dementia.
either way. Um, Depression doesn't necessarily cause it, but it can make the symptoms worse, because an individual who has a brain which is experiencing depression means that that individual is often less stimulated. They're more lethargic. You know what I mean? It's harder for them to engage in life when they're depressed, and those things can accelerate the impact of dementia. So, in that case, it would be very important. Those are important things you would share with the doctor that you're noticing, because sometimes, I do know a number of people that happened with my mother-in-law. Sometimes treating the symptoms of depression also can help, because it helps just in terms of their mood and their ability to enjoy their life, and therefore also slow down the decline in the quality of their life as well.
Okay, so I thought I had one scenario, but I have two, so I'm going to try to get to it. This one, and this is from a mail. I was wondering when I was going to see a comment from a mail. So it says, "This is from son of potty-mouthed wandering mother. Not only is my mother uncharacteristically using cuss language and in a normal conversation, she's wandering off up and down the street to places unknown. She's such a slippery one. One minute she's here, the next you're off on the hunt miles away. She used to run, and she's still quite nimble and quick. One day we found her 5 miles away, comfortably sitting on someone's veranda. Their gate was open and she was tired. The occupants called the police. Long story. How do we get her to stop cussing and wandering off without tying or locking her up? How do we avoid making ourselves feel like jailers and mouth monitors?
Okay. Again, boy, these are all typical experiences that people with dementia have and typical challenges that their caregiver has. Um, and again, it's almost like with cuss words, it's often about confusion and difficulty finding words, and the frustration created with finding words. And sometimes you just reach for anyone you can find almost, you know what I mean? Um, and so it often is about the dementia again. And again, it doesn't make sense arguing with them or pointing out their behavior sometimes doesn't achieve what you would like it to do. So instead of that, I guess trying to calm the person, helping with anything that can calm them, gentle redirecting the conversation, or soothingly reassuring them about something. Music is a great one, a great one. Inspirational music, instrumental music can really help to kind of calm them in the face of their frustration.
Okay.
um the wandering is a big one, Sir Twain. I don't know if you have time to deal with that one, because the wandering is one of the riskiest things that
Yeah.
people with dementia can exhibit. um and at the same time, you want to protect their safety, but you want to make sure that she doesn't feel imprisoned or anything like that. So creating a safe environment is important, securing doors and gates in ways that not exactly obvious, for example, is very important to do, like putting a lock above eye level or something like that, or child-proof covers to locks or something, so that it's harder for them to wander away. And then
So
also
would
you creating a routine of walking. So you have a supervised time when you take her for a walk, you know what I mean? Since that's something she wants to do and enjoy, do it with her, but have a schedule for it, as it were.
because
Is
I was
better.
wondering about that. I was wondering if it would be helpful to engage her in walking so that it
Yes.
would allow her to do the same things without having to do it on her own and
Mhm.
unsupervised.
For sure. And the
Oh,
last thing I would say too that has become helpful in today's life with trackers and things like that, you have these little tracking machines, a cell phone or something that you can kind of keep on them. For I know that for people who have Alzheimer's, you can even get bracelets nowadays, which can have trackers in them. Um, that can help you to keep an idea of where they are if they do wander off, is another thing.
okay. Sonia, I must say, time does fly when you're having good conversation, and you were very helpful for this conversation. I really hope someone out there has listened or watched, and they'll be able to use some of the tips you have and just some of the general information about keeping calm, giving grace, and emphasizing what the person can do and not just highlighting what they can't do. So, again, thank you so much for having joined us, Family Time, today. So, if you have questions of a personal nature or you are concerned about a friend or family member, call us. For more information on our services or for our counselors in Kingston and other parts of the island, contact our head office at 876 920 1034, 876 926 8101, 876. Well, that number seems a bit strange right there. So, for appointments and cost, you must call the offices. Otherwise, keep up to date with what's happening with FLM via the different platforms which I have mentioned earlier. Here's a verse before you go. Oh, I see a comment. Let me read the comment and get back to the verse. Good evening. Dementia causes brain fog and forgetfulness. Since my husband touched 50, he's really forgetful and I get miserable on him. But it just keeps getting worse. Hopefully, the discussion helped you today. Our verse is Romans 15:13. It says, May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Thanks to our studio producers, Kathy Gale, Derval Graham for piloting us through this hour, and for Sonia who would join us as our guest. This has been Sir Twain and Family Time. God bless.